Welcome to another edition of the Dental Today podcast. Thank you for stopping by. This is brought to you by labmediatv. My name is Hezekiah Morales, and here we go. Remember to follow us on social media at labmediatv. And welcome to another edition of the Dental Today podcast. We are very excited to have a wonderful young lady accompanying us exclusively from the northeast side of the United States of America. We're talking about Miss Ifet Lena. Ifet, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. So happy. Thank you for choosing me where there are so many talented technicians out there, and I don't know why you picked me this time, but I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Oh, no, for sure. We were actually having a conversation with a good friend of mine, John Wesley McMillan, a couple of months ago, maybe about a year ago, and he did mention you, and that was certainly where it all started. I do remember we were trying to get something together with Elvin Santos, another friend of ours who was actually on the podcast as well, and we had a possible project going on, and that's how we reached out to you, and we started following you on social media, and we're excited to have you here today. I do know that you do have quite a bit of experience. You are trained outside of the United States, but came to the United States, and now you are even in your own laboratory. I would like for us to start with you giving us a little bit of background from Albania, your training in Albania, and how it's affected you in a positive way in coming into the United States and to this market.
Yes, I'm born and raised in Macedonia. I'm Albanian, but raised in Macedonia, and I went to Albania to study for dental technician. Back then, my brother, he is dentist, orthodontist. So we had this in the family, and I was between being dentist or dental technician, but I had this big desire. I want to visit a school, and I had this big desire to work with my hands, to solve a problem, to stay there with hours, spending my own time and doing something perfectly good. So that's how I decided to go for dental technician, and it was 2 years in Albania. And after that, I went back home, and I traveled a little bit. Like, I visited many labs. I went to courses, lectures, and one period I went to Switzerland for 2 months, and I saw the difference. So school is good, and you learn as much as you can. Okay, so you get the basics, materials, and shapes, form, all this, but it's never enough as any other school. Yes, so you basically learn when you start doing it. And when I went to Switzerland, I saw a huge difference. So they were taking their time. They would do everything by hand, all, gold, full gold, crowns, bridges, all the veneers. Emax was popular back at that time. So I was getting very excited and trying to be there, to stay there, but I couldn't stay there. So I'm always looking for something better, and I didn't have that opportunity back in Macedonia. In that time, you had to ask people to watch them. Nobody would let you watch them. It was like a secret. Like, nobody would tell you how to do it.
Right.
Yes, and coming from a small city, it was difficult to get a job even. So later I met my husband, who is born in America, and he always wanted to live here, to come back to live here. And we decided to move in 2012. And I got very lucky because the very first 3 weeks of my move in the States, after 3 weeks, I got my first job as a dental technician. So I remember the days when I was, getting excited about coming, but also very worried that what's going to happen when I move to the States. Am I going to find a job? Am I going to work in a good dental lab? How is it going to be? So many questions. And I remember myself in the basement of my mother's house, carving soap, watching on YouTube Ivan Ronaldo, the best of wax up. and he does all these carvings and has a beautiful video. So I was trying to carve, and I had all this passion. I used to search for technicians online, and Facebook was fairly new. So I found Thomasing, and I never forget about his cases. I was like, it was amazing. I couldn't believe that, whoa, somebody could do that. And I had all this desire to get somewhere, to be able to do it. I used to think that these people are gods. Like, how can create that?
Right.
Talented to do something like that. It's true, you have to be talented, yes, but you also have to have the passion and to be determined and to do it, to find the right way of doing it and never stop doing it. So somehow after that, when I came to the States, I found this job at in Indiana. We moved to Indiana, first location.
DPL. DPL.
How do you know? Yeah, I still have the cup.
Nice.
DPL, Dental Professional Laboratory. Yes, it's a family-owned lab. It has a 45 years history, owned by a beautiful family Suarez, with the owner Michael Suarez, who's Puerto Rican, if I'm not wrong. And he has his son, who is Michael Suarez the second. Also, and they are the third and the fourth, and they have Tatiana Suarez also. She's from Europe, Serbian, daughter-in-law, and she helped me a lot. And I started there working in denture department.
Okay.
So hired me right away because they needed someone, but every time I do something, I do my best, no matter what. So I was doing dentures and spending so many hours doing those dentures that my boss would say, okay, you have to stop, just do it. You have to finish this many a day. So don't, don't try to spend too much time, because we need you to do more work. So to produce more, of course, but you cannot understand the production part until you own your own business.
Of course.
Yes, and but I remember we had a dentist one day. I was doing the metal frame partials, and I used to spend hours polishing. And one day a dentist came and he said, "Are you the new technician?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Good job." And I felt like, okay, something is good in here. It felt good, and I had respect from my colleagues there because they saw that I was trying hard, really trying hard. And not only that, but working very long hours. I was the last one trying to push that overtime to the maximum.
Right.
and so many times not taking care of my health. And but being there, it was me and my husband, no family, so it was complete. I was completely focused on my job. So no matter what, I had to be completely on the job, and the rest was, excuse me, the rest was, not much time for personal life. So later on, we decided, because we have more family in New York, New Jersey, and my husband wanted to come here, and I found Josh Polanski somehow online on Facebook. So Facebook helped me a lot in my life. I want to say thank you. Yes. So I just texted Josh saying that, oh, I'm looking to move to New Jersey. So do you know somebody who would hire me? I didn't even thought of him, giving me the opportunity. So yes, he said, okay, I'm looking for someone, because the lady who was working for him, she was about to move. And I was like flying. I was very happy, very, very happy. We came twice or three times, driving all the way from Indiana to New Jersey for interview, and then again and again, until it took me for 5 months until we moved here, settled. So it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because coming from a bigger lab and doing dentures and trying to learn some course, and also I was introduced also to CAD/CAM. Now when I came here, I found everything that I needed, basically. So I started doing high-end, starting from model work, doing it right, doing my very first crown from scratch, waxing, pressing, emacs, staining, and I was getting very excited every day, learning something new, which I love learning. So the thing that keeps me going is learning something new. Always, if I don't learn and if I don't improve, it feels like I'm not leaving. So it's the most important thing in my life. And I started doing CAD/CAM also, and um, a little bit layering and understanding color, understanding shape. So it was a beautiful base for me to understand and to practice high-end dentistry. The big part that really helped me, and to this day that really helps me, is not only Josh, that is a great mentor who taught me not only teeth but life. It's also his father, Dr. Barry Polanski, amazing person who I mention every single day because he's a true mentor. He's a leader, and he explained me very in different ways. He tried to explain me that it's not about teeth, it's about life, and it's about, at the end, everything can be fixed, and yes, it can be fixed. So he let me go in with a patient for the first time, see patients, look at my restoration in the mouth, which is amazing to see what you've done. You start to see different things. You start to see what you did wrong and what you did right, and get excited and start to ask yourself how to do it better. And so that was the best experience, one of the best experience. And later on, I had to move on, and the lab was growing, and we all had different, I would say, goals. And I had to move on, and I was looking to become ceramist. I wanted really to do the anterior cases. I had this, I don't want to say addiction, but I could do anything but the anterior cases. So at that point, I could do model work, I could do implants, custom abutment, bridges, all on fours, all substructures, everything that it's under, behind, but not the final touch of the anterior cases. I also had some anterior cases, but I really wanted to go deeper. And that's when I moved to, I had a lot of opportunities. I had a lot of offers in different states from very good doctors, very good technicians. And I accepted the one in New York, Peter Pizzi. So that's where I really started to become ceramist. And this was a year or 2 years ago, yeah. Ceramist, I still don't call myself ceramist, as I do ceramic, yes, but there's a lot to it, so it takes a lot of years, as you know. There are so many brands, so many porcelains, so many things that you need to know to understand to make that restoration look lifelike, as we say. So basically, that was a different stage of my life because I really learned a lot brands of ceramics, a lot ways of layering, his way, and shape. He helped me a lot. Also, until after a year, I had to move on and bounce around, as they say. They joke with me like you've been being like you've been bouncing around from lab to lab. But I've always looked for something better, always. Why not? And at that point, I had a great opportunity. A year before that, actually, I went to Olivia Trick, another mentor of mine who I love and respect so much. He has so much respect, also as Peter and as Josh. And I met him, and he saw how I work. So people that I've worked for, or people who I work with, they know me pretty well. They know how I work. I'm a little tough, and I can be strict, but if I do something, I do it right, no matter what. So when I work for other people, I really work harder, I would say, in one meaning, but now I work hard also for myself. But I do my best, no matter what. And at that point, he saw how I do, and he said, you know what, maybe you should go for it. I said, I don't know if it's the time. I never thought of it. Like, always thought maybe one day in the future after 15 years, because I also loved working for other people. when somebody tells me, okay, you have to do this and this, and I love following instructions. I'm good at it. So, it gives me some kind of
structure.
Yes. And on the other side, I had to decide. So he said, just, I still saved the message that Olivia left, voicemail. He said, okay, Ifet, you've been around, you did your best, you tried hard, you work hard, you have talent, you have passion, go for it, because now it's your time. And I was like, okay. That was the right word. And also at the same time, I had other doctors who wanted me in their office, but they said, you know what, it's your life, it's your decision. You have to do what's the right thing for yourself first. And that was the best advice that I can give to someone, or that I took from someone. So I really appreciate all these people helping me in that hard time. And I moved to Villanova and opened my own lab. I had no name, I had no email address for that, nothing. I just, I met the doctor who owns a practice in Villanova, Dr. Joe Greenberg, an amazing person who has so many years experience in this field. He has so much respect from his colleagues. He's doing his best. We have the similar mindset. We always use the best ceramics, which for me was challenging because I'm still new, I would say. But he opened his door to me, and I really appreciate it. So I just started from changing the lock, and then from fixing some, some plumbing issues, some, these basic things that I never did in my life. Little things that,
now you're the owner. Now it changes a little bit.
Now it changes totally. And I can say I'm proud of myself because in less than a month, maybe 2 weeks, I just placed the order for everything, all materials. Like, how many different materials and different equipments and tools are we use. So in less than a month, as I said, I placed the orders for everything. I already knew what I need, and everything came. The lab was set up. I started working, and it just went just like that. So today I'm glad, I'm happy, I'm thankful that I opened it, because in the beginning, you are never sure. So many times I see colleagues, young people, maybe older than me, they are like, oh, when is the right time? Well, the right time is when you feel, or maybe you don't, you just go for it.
Right.
And then it happens. Yes. But I started getting a little nervous. How it's gonna go? Will it work? Will I be able to handle it? So many questions. My biggest support was my husband, which we sacrificed all these years. We worked very hard and sacrificed and saved some money so I can start. So it was, if I didn't have him, I wouldn't be able to start it, first of all. So he was my biggest help. And on the other side, I had like, okay, what if it doesn't last? All these question marks. And my first year, which has been a year now, in February was a year. My first year, I used to watch all these videos online, like how to run a business. What are the rules of first year in business? What you should do and what you shouldn't do, because there were some moments that you don't know. It's up and down emotionally. I was busy. I had work, but I'm still learning how to communicate with doctors and patients. There are so many things that I still learn. And one thing that I put in my mind, okay, it's gonna be never quit. The biggest mistake that business owners make the very first year is that they quit. So I said, okay, let me pass the first year. And then what's the worst case? My mom, I love her. She's my other mentor and, like manager. She always says, they can take your job, but they cannot take your hands. I have the experience. I have all this experience. I have all these years, all this sacrifice. And there are moments that you feel like, okay, what now? But at the end, you look back and you said, okay, you sacrifice so much, so you better keep going.
So what would you say was the biggest lesson you took from the first year of being in business for yourself?
um, Learn how to listen.
Hmm.
I just gave this example to my colleague here. We were talking, and he said, "Oh, doctors always have different questions, different. They change their minds. We had a kid. Doctor said I want to do this way, and then we changed, things like that." But you know what I told him? I said, when you go to a restaurant, and this is my beautiful advice from my friend Alvin Santos. He said, when they come to you, they already know what they want. It's like when you go to a restaurant, it wasn't me. It was him that gave me the example. So I turned it to the restaurant thing. When you go to a restaurant, you already know what you want to eat. If you ask for pasta and they try to sell you burger, it doesn't work. So instead of trying to, because when you have some experience, you think you know, or and you want to prove it, and you want to say that, okay, if doctor says I want it this way, and you give, like, but what if we tried this material? What if we tried this way? What if, you try to add something, thinking that you are helping, giving some advice, I would say, help, as I see. There are some doctors who are not open, and which is perfectly fine. So they know what they want. So I'm learning to give them whatever they want. I'm learning to not do, every count cannot be perfect. I try to, to do my best on everything I do. Yes, trying to make it as perfect as I can. But there are cases, there are moments that you can do as much as you can do. So you just move on next. So I say next case will be better. I promise. Of course. So many things. I learned a lot of things. I'm learning a lot of things.
But the biggest one has been learning to listen. That's awesome. Now, when you talk about that transition between working for someone, you said that you like following instructions. Obviously, instructions, that structure, and a lot of us do like to follow a structure, because I believe that that's the quickest way for success in whatever it is. But then you make your transition. You begin the transition into opening your new lab, changing the locks, going in, getting it prepared to go out to battle and get everything started. What is your biggest challenge, and how do you overcome it in that transition where you are following instruction, in the transition where, okay, now I don't have anybody else other than my mind giving me instruction? What was the biggest challenge, and how did you overcome it?
The biggest challenge. The biggest challenge would be, well, still listening, I would say, because I was with my doctor in house, and he would tell me his opinion, or other doctors as well. And as I said, I would try to tell them my way as well. So that was the biggest challenge, to accept that, okay, follow their instructions. So now I had not one boss, I had 10. Okay, not 10, not that many, but I would say yes. So before my boss is a rule for me. So whatever he used to say, I would go with that. Okay, because that's his way. Okay, let's give example, Josh, for instance, or Peter. That's his way. It works perfectly. He wants to do it that way, and you just follow it. Okay. And now I had my own lab, my name on it. Okay. So I had to have a way. I'm still putting new things. I'm still changing. I'll be doing until, I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but until I get there, I'll say. Until I have a completely, like, a system that works completely good, which I don't believe there is something that works, because you always have to be open to new things and changes. But as I figure out that I have to listen now, not to my boss, but to my bosses, so my doctors. So whatever instructions they give, I follow them follow them. It was difficult, it was challenging, yes, because sometimes, you know, you think you are following, you try your best, but maybe you do 80% of your potential, you know,
Mm.
maybe you do 100%, or you think you do, but it's not enough, you know. And if it's not enough, you try your best at least. If it's not enough, you just move on. You know, I'm learning today, as I mentioned before, is 4th of July weekend. Everyone is away. I'm alone in the lab. And what am I doing today? I'm not working to make money. I'm working to do my best. So when I deliver that case, I wanted to look, to feel the way I feel, that okay, this is my best for this case, and I don't want to regret if it comes back. Last year I did something, I sent the case, and I knew, you know, there are moments when you do something wrong, and you know, but you have to rush. It was a one unit, single unit, and I know it will come back. You know, there are moments that you have to learn to don't let it go out. Just just fix it before you send it out. So things like this, little things. And how do I? Yes,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
yes. You asked me the transition. So before I, because working in other labs, before being ceramist, working with Josh, I had to kind of manage, like, do some model work, and then wax, press, invest, do CAD CAM, and all these things. So I already had the base of how much time it takes me, what and how, and what is more important, what is, you know, what should take more time. So here, what I do is when I receive a new case, I just jump on it. So first day, second model work is done for sure. Like, I don't just wait for it or anything. If I have to wait for parts, different story, yes. But so my model work is quick test, and I do it, and then I prepare everything, whatever substructure has to be done. Let's say it's Emacs, I prepare all the Emacs, I prepare all the zirconia, and then go to layering. When I start to layer, I have a group of, you know, cases that I have to layer, and just go by that. Very organized. I've been very organized, and it's been a year that I'm proud to say that I never change dates. Not that it's not gonna happen in the future, but I really care about not changing dates, not being late with the cases. You know, I really care about these things. So when you do high quality work, it's not the perfect count. It's everything that you put in. It's all the details, not that halo, but it's the keeping that promise, saying that okay, I'll return the case in 3 weeks, and you return it. You know,
Hmm.
so things like that.
Gotcha. So if I'm understanding correctly, the biggest challenge, or the biggest highlight in the transition was getting used to, instead of listening to one voice, listening to various voices and interpreting what it is that the doctor wants, and actually making it happen, bringing that result forth. Wow, that's certainly something to consider.
As much as I can, always.
Oh no, for sure. And obviously, you've worked with great people in the industry. You did mention that you spoke with Mr. Oliver Trick, a phenomenal professional as well. He was the one that initiated the. He was probably a catalyst, if we can say, to get your lab going. And you've worked with several people, but if I could ask you today, Ifet, who would you like to collaborate with or work with in the short term? Who would that be? Or maybe who would they be?
Collaborate in what type of?
Whether it's a project, whether it's a nonprofit project or a teaching project or whatever it is, in whatever arena, but which dental professional would you like to work with, have the opportunity to collaborate with?
All of them. Much respect for them. They, you know, these people care about what they do. I was listening to another podcast of yours earlier. I told you, and
I appreciate you listening.
yes, and I love listening to them because I see the passion when they talk about their work. It's weird to explain our passion as dental technicians to normal people, because wherever I go, I talk about teeth, and people had enough of me. It's so weird. But also these people who I learned from, they have so much passion, not only to make the perfect crown, as I said, but to teach others. So when they taught me something, they really gave their best. 100%. I believe, and I would love to, yes, collaborate with any of them, whoever gives me the opportunity. So I would, yeah, I would be ready to help them always. And yes, Olivia Trick, it's another mentor of mine that I just visited again for the second time. I've been to his lectures maybe 5 or 6 times, and I just went in February for another hands-on, and it's amazing. You know, if you follow him, if you've seen his work, it's out of this world. All of technicians, all of them are very talented. All of them have something different to give and to show. But it's just something that I like. I to see him and to learn from him. His passion. He knows how to give that energy to other people. You know, to motivate you right away. So, and as I said, I want to mention this. So I was at this lab, which I opened because of Olivia Trick, for a year. But 2 months ago, I moved to another to new place. And this is in Philadelphia, in Center City. It's amazing group of dentists, 5 dentists in here. All are specialists, career cross, and they are faculties in Penn University. Right now, yes, and they have been. This office was created almost 50 years ago from Dr. Amsterdam, and they have the name of Dr. Amsterdam. So I used to hear this name everywhere in lectures of good doctors. I love to go to lectures, dentist, technician, whatever it is. I just go go for it. Yeah, I go there and I like to learn new things. So I always heard this name, but I never knew what was the story. And then I was looking to move out, and I had a lot of opportunities from other dentists who wanted me in their office as ceramist. You know, it's I don't want to say trending. It's a very good thing to have a ceramist in house, but lately I would say as trending. You know, they share cases, they show, you know, videos on Instagram, our ceramist layering, and it's fancy. The patients come and see the ceramist, you know, type of thing. So I had offers, also had offers from other colleagues of mine who wanted to, you know, to have me in their place so we can help each other and things like that. But I decided to come here, and I'm very proud of being here. Very, very proud of being here. I work with these amazing doctors, and I also keep my own business still. And I work with other doctors, new doctors also lately, and it just feels good. And I didn't CAD cam. It was a challenge for me last year because no CAD cam. I had to send some work out like zirconia, and now the Amsterdam Dental Group, the dental office also has a lab which was created 5 years ago with an owner who is Al Nelson and his son Brian Nelson and the other guys in here working here. So they have a team and a lab which worked for all these years for the doctors and also other doctors. And they opened the lab to me. They just gave me space, and they have been so nice to me. They let me use their equipment, which I had experience, but I'm just going back trying to remember what I was doing before, and now I'm doing all my CAD cam again and all the design, and also new opportunities to do the digital dentistry. So most of my doctors, I mentioned before, most of my doctors, new and old ones, the doctors in here, they have been using iTero for 8 years. They already have experience, build models, but they are trying to jump to printed model.
Absolutely.
Are more better, and that's my transition right now. So I don't want to say so I told you before that always when I share something on Instagram or Facebook, I say that okay, I did this crown handmade. You know, I waxed it, I pressed it, it's all layered porcelain. But the zirconia substructure was always done CAD, you know, or custom abutments by hand or design pattern custom abutment in CAD or zirconia. So I was using CAD, not that I wasn't but now I'm going more digital. I'll start to do the smile design.
Right.
Digital, yes, digital smile design, printed digital wax ups and
Mm.
printed models, which I believe it's a great tool if you know how to use it.
Mm.
So it's just like a camera. People were afraid to, or people wouldn't invest in camera because cost this much, and they wouldn't know how to use it. So
Right.
it's the thing with CAD cam. I believe in technology. Because of technology, we are talking right now. We are able to
For
communicate,
sure.
and otherwise we wouldn't be able to have to do this podcast. So I'm not against CAD cam. I love it. I would say now I enjoy doing it because I know what I'm doing. Before, when I started learning, it was yes, it was not as any other thing. I'm a fast learner, but it still some things are not easy to learn, and it takes time. And now I'm enjoying it and trying to take advantage of it and use it to the maximum.
That's amazing. So it's interesting that you said um, something that reminds me of a conversation that I had with Dr. Raymond Rofi regarding CAD/CAM, because technology is certainly enabling of so many good things. However, technology is not going to do it all. I believe that if the foundation is there, if the driver knows what he or she is doing, then the product, the end product, can certainly be much better with the tools that are being enabled. So I really appreciate what you said there. That's certainly what's happening now. The transition and the explosion that's really been caused through digital dentistry, and so many phenomenal opportunities that really have been brought forth because of digital dentistry, even that affect the end user, I think are amazing and are only going to continue to get better. The materials, the
Yes,
processes will
it's getting
only continue to
better.
get better,
Yes,
for
it's
sure.
always getting better, and it's very exciting that I see more translucent zirconia. I see more translucent PMMA materials,
Hmm. Yes.
three shades of translucent. They have so many types and brands, and it's exciting. It doesn't take so much time. It's faster. Is it better? Yes, in the meaning of if you at the end of the month, if you do the calculation how much time it took you, yes, it's expensive. I don't have my own. Maybe for me it's I don't really know the numbers yet, what is what. But at the end of the day, when I look at you know uh, calculate the time that it takes me to do a wax up and a temp by hand, and on
Mhm.
the other side I design it on the computer and mill it, why not? Yes.
For sure. Absolutely. Push, do your design, push play.
Yes. Done. Yes.
For sure. Well, I want
The
to. I'm
the
sorry, you
problem,
were saying. Hmm.
I want to say something.
Hmm.
The problem, people, I see different types of comments.
Okay.
Okay, some people complain that okay, now with CAT scan we have to fire people. Well, no, maybe yes, okay, but at least you keep the good ones, the ones who are willing and who understand, the ones who can use the CAT, and the other ones who cannot use it. Maybe they are not even good with their hands. You know what I mean? So it's like if you are good with your hands, if you understand design by hand, the substructure, coping, whatever it is, abutment, then you will be able to do it in the computer. And if you
Sure.
are all to do it, then you don't have patience. If you don't have patience, I don't know if you are you pick the right profession.
Right.
It's like a chain. You need all these specialties, all this. You have you need to have a strong character. And on the other side, I wanted to say that doctors are happy with CAT scan because why they are happy, because some things are cheaper, I would say, some things are faster, And not only CAD scan, let's talk about scanners, oral scanners. Well, it's faster for them. They don't take impressions, they just
Mm-hmm.
scan it, they just
Mm-hmm.
send the file, no
Mm-hmm.
shipping, and it comes back. So, you know, you just pick whatever you want to pick. It's your business, it's your choice. It's same thing with me. But another problem is that with CAD/CAM, as people are getting busier and selling the crowns for cheaper, lately I was joking about this made in China crowns on social media, and my colleagues were laughing like, "Oh, stop it! You cannot say that." But it's true because there are doctors who want to do high-end dentistry. I usually like to speak the truth. They want to do high-end dentistry and they pick a good ceramist, but on the other side they send the bread and butter to China. So that's fine, okay, that's still good, it's their choice. But on the other side is that the production labs, they are growing so fast and they are hiring people. They are just hiring people, not technicians, hiring and training people. Okay, so it takes them time to train them. Okay, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you just, it's like you have more trouble.
Oh yeah.
And it's a lot of knowledge behind that. It's not just to make a crown and to press the mill and that's done, a little bit glaze and that's it. It's not. I'm not here. At least what I know is that I'm not here in this industry for that. I am here to do the best thing possible. I do is the biomimetic layering, like looking the more natural, all this. I try my best. Maybe I don't do the best one, but I try the best quality. I try the best aesthetics, or on each case, whatever is the case. My colleagues say, "Oh, you always get the good cases." No, I try to do my best on bad cases, on each case. So it's about it's good. It's a beautiful profession. There's so much hope, but it is up to you. What are you looking for?
Very interesting that you brought that point up because we were having a conversation in the last episode with Eric Niederhauser,
Mhm.
the former owner of Hero Dent, and he is now a partner at Imagine and the production manager. And he was sharing with me that now we have this hired labor, which is not necessarily founded on the fundamentals of what a tooth even is, and
Yes,
and the aesthetics and the biology and function,
yes,
occlusion. And
yes,
so these are the challenges that production labs definitely face, or I don't even know if it's the challenge that they face, but the customer faces and the doctor faces, because then in the end, the doctor's going to put that in mouth. And maybe if the doctor missed it, the customer is going to end up having, or the patient is going to end up having issues. And those issues are caused because there's a lack of understanding that it's not just glazing a crown. It goes deeper than that. And for sure, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I do believe that um, the respect for dental technicians coming from doctors has grown, at the very least, in some of the conversations that I've had, because this has come to light, and the work that's being done by dental technician professionals nowadays is amazing, and they can see the difference. And let's just hope, right, that these little issues and hiccups that we're going through right now with production labs and everything can be fixed in the future. But I do know that you have a website, Ifet Lena Dental Studio.com. But
yes.
for our followers that want to follow on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever it is, what is your username? What is your tag? How can we follow you?
Yes, my Instagram is Ifet Lena, which is IFETLENA.
Mm-hmm.
My Facebook page, it's Ifet Lena Dental Studio, and I'm on that's my business page, and also I'm on Facebook as Ifet Ahmeti Lena. So they can really find me easily if they type Lena. I'm the first one in dental. I'm joking, but it's easy to find. Yeah, I have so many connections all over with doctors and technicians, so it's easy to find me. I'm a beginner with eLab. I just started using it. I haven't gone to any courses or anything yet. I just got the kit from Sasha Hein, and they're amazing. They're really helping online, trying to set up my camera, the filters, and all these little things. But I'm very excited about it because I've seen a lot of results, good, amazing results by from other technicians.
Mm.
And I'm just waiting. I heard there are so many doctors who are looking for technicians who are using e-labs. So,
Hmm.
and I already have some contacts who are looking to start with that. And we'll see in the future. I believe that my single central problem will be solved. It's a nightmare for all of us, as we know. So I hope that will be great. We'll see.
Awesome. Well, we do want to thank you for being on the show. We want to congratulate you on being such a phenomenal technician and starting your journey in your own lab and being successful the first year. And we know you're going to continue to have more successes. I look forward to seeing you soon in Chicago next year. There's going to be another room. Now they're going to be having another room this upcoming year. So I look forward to seeing you there as well. Thank you so much for coming. Is there one last thing that you want to share with our listeners?
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and it's so nice to hear other technicians' journey. I was happy. I'm happy to share mine. What I want to say that uh, I like to motivate people. I have friends, colleagues from all over. As I get motivated from other colleagues, I have colleagues who always ask me questions, and I try to help. And in the future, I've done some hands-on and some lectures. So in the future, I'm just looking to try to help and motivate other people. So if they want to ask me something, any questions about work related, feel free, ask. Like, ask me and someone else, like, just contact and ask. I'll be open to help.
Thank you so much for being so open. Ifet, it's been a pleasure having you. We appreciate you accepting the invitation and being so fantastic. We will see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This is the Dental Today podcast. Until next time.